Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to the channel for our very first episode for the jump season. Really delighted to be back. Of course, we've got Chepstow has finally arrived. It feels like we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, but it is here, and we are going to dissect some of the races, bring you some of our best bets, and once we've gone through Chepstow, myself and Daff are probably going to shoot off, and we're going to leave you in the capable hands of Jamie and Liam to go through Newmarket as well. Thanks everyone that's tuning in. Really do appreciate it. We've got loads of stable tools already out there, live and recorded. Got loads more to come. We've got all of our Ante-Post stuff on the way as well. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got Chepstow first. We all excited? Daft's excited.
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
Liam,
Can't wait.
Jamie,
So yeah,
I'm trying for you guys. I'm trying for you.
Still, I'm, I'm still in flat mode.
Daff came with me then. Daff was seriously excited. But first of all, yeah, look, delighted to have you back on the channel, Daff. How's things, mate? How's your flat season been? I mean, you're all about the jumps, aren't you? Like me for the most part. So,
Yeah, good, Joe. Thanks for having me on again. Nice to be accompanied with Liam as well for the first time. I haven't met Liam before, so nice to see Liam as well on the show. Nice to see Jamie back as well. So yeah, the flat season's been all right, guys. I'm all about Cheltenham based. Cheltenham Countdown is my own podcast. So the jumps is nearing its beginning of the season. So I can't wait for it to start. As a Welshman as well, to have it in Chepstow at the beginning of the season, it's phenomenal. And the new inaugural Welsh Racing Festival, whatever they're calling it, is fantastic. So yeah, can't wait, guys, can't wait.
yeah, it's good, Daff, to be fair, isn't it? We've got more prize money. I mean, we've got a few runners from Gordon Elliott's decided to come over and chase a little bit of that himself. It's got to be a positive move, hasn't it? But Daff, are you going all 3 days, one of the days, not at all, or
Oh, unfortunately, Joe, I'm not going to any of the days.
okay?
I will be watching it all without a shadow of a doubt on TV or on the phone, anything to do with that. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, not going this year. Will be going at some point in the future if it continues to be a festival without a shadow of a doubt because you don't get festivals on every racetrack in the UK and Ireland. So make the most of it, I think, guys. If you are going, enjoy it and yeah, have a great time.
Definitely, definitely. And Daff, have you started your anti-post series yet? Where are you at the moment with your channel? I know you're just getting started for the new season as well.
Oh, don't start Ante-Post talking to me yet, Joe, because
Okay,
I'm still talking about last season, to be honest.
okay.
Last season's Cheltenham Festival was a disaster. We're trying to move on from there now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, Ante-Post hasn't kicked in at all me yet, to be honest, Joe. Wait till the season gets going. Wait till the field runners come out first, and then we go from there.
Perfect, Daff. Perfect. And if anyone isn't following Daff, I think your at on Twitter is at the underscore Cheltenham, I believe, Daff. Is that right?
That's correct. It's in the naming word link
Oh, yeah.
on the
Perfect.
screen now, guys. If you do want to visit my channel, it's on the underscore Cheltenham. Just have a look at my posts. I do post regularly on the profile on the page. So
Yeah,
yeah,
perfect.
for me it's even better. But yeah, let's see you three guys for the first time as well.
Awesome, awesome. Look, we'll pop the link in the description below as well for your page, Daff. And if anyone just wants to go to my Twitter, obviously Daff will be tagged in the video as well. Really good to have you back on, Daff. Liam, how are you, buddy? You're in a lovely cozy hotel there. You've got the mood set for some winners, it looks like.
yeah, only winners, and the mood's not set for anything else. Also, Joe, yeah, I'm surprised you not mention the fact that only on the Ginger Joe Racing Show would you get four guys in four different countries talking racing at
Oh my
Chepstow.
God. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, yeah. So we're coming from you, we're coming international now. We're broadening the channel. Well,
Absolutely.
over to the Irish correspondent. Jamie, you all good, mate? You've had a good flat season, to be fair, mate, haven't you? You've been flying this year. You've banged in a few good winners this season. I know you're still annoyed about Mini Hawk, and remember,
Yeah,
we are a
thanks, Joe.
non
Yeah, cheers,
we
buddy. Yeah, yeah.
we are a
Joe has a lovely,
non-swearing.
sparkling white Munir and suede top on, like Liam here. Like in a different country, like like blow drying his hair. But we'll say nothing about that. But we'll move on. Great flat season, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Newmarket. Sorry about your Chepstow fans, but I know Joe will have. We won't be able to shut him up when it comes to some horse on Sunday at Chepstow. Go on, so Joe.
Got a runner, we've got a runner, we've got a runner. Right, anyway, good stuff. Glad you're all well, and seems like the spirits are good, and I hope you all are at home as well. Really do get stuck in this weekend. Enjoy the racing because this is what we live for. Anything to add, lads, or should we just get stuck into the racing?
Let's get stuck in.
7 races from Chepstow, 2 on Friday, 3 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. We are going to start off with the Persian War Novices Hurdle, the Grade 2 over 2 miles, 3.5 furlongs. good to soft ground, which is a bit of a relief because we weren't sure if they were going to water at all and there hadn't been a drop of rain. But Queensbury Boy, the 6-4 favourite here, owned by David Maxwell, going to be running for Harry Dirham and Paul O'Brien. We then have Stick to the Plan for Ollie Murphy and Sean Bowen. Money Garrow for the Skeltons, Jack Hyde for Fergal O'Brien and Johnny Burke. Nice to see that Gordon Elliott's brought Keynesborg over. He's a really nice sort as well. And to be honest, even the outsiders, you can make somewhat a case for this this race too. Daph, we might as well come to you to start this off. Beg your pardon. The favourite looks a pretty smart horse, but I mean, David Maxwell's been telling the world that this is a good thing. Does that suggest that even he knows there's more to come from this horse when he potentially isn't in the saddle? And that's no disrespect. It's just nice to have a professional jockey on board. Might suggest that we potentially get the full potential from the horse. But look, are you with Queensbury Boy, Daff, or something else taking your fancy? Where are you at with the Persian War?
Yeah, first race, Joe. I'm actually opposing Queensbury Boy here. You know, David Maxwell has said what he said about the horse. He's clearly a talented horse. Obviously, went to Ireland at the back end of last season. If you've seen any of my podcast episodes, guys, you'll know how much of a big fan I am of Jack Hyde. I have claimed on my own podcast channel that he could be a very well handicapped horse. I think I mentioned on one of my Horse to Follow series, one of the episodes of my Horse to Follow series, that he would be touted for this race, and he's obviously been declared now. So that's put 2 and 2 together. That's a good thing. I honestly think he's well handicapped, guys. He's off a mark of 123, I believe. Yeah. And he's only had a few runs for his new trainer Fergal O'Brien. He only had about a handful of runs for Fergal O'Brien. One was at the beginning of last month. I do think it was a pipe opener for him as well, ready for this race. That was at Newton Abbot last month. We haven't had a drop of rain here in Wales for quite some time now. Well, probably long enough for about a week, which is a long time here in Wales. Yeah, that's going to be good for his case because I don't think he's a very good ground dependent horse, and he's well handicapped. He's good ground. I just can't oppose him. And obviously, he's in my Horse to Follow list. He's in my Horse to Follow series. I'm going to go side with him. I cannot go against him. I think he's a roughly 13 to 2, 6 to 1 shot.
Yeah.
So decent value at the moment, considering the favourites quite hot. So I'm siding with Jack Hyde, Joe. He's going to be my selection in the Persian War this week.
Yeah, I love that, Daff. I love that. And it's good that great minds hopefully are thinking alike because he's another horse after he won the last day. I let my Discord lads know. I said, look, this is possibly one for the Persian War. So everything you said there, Daff, I completely agree with. And I like the fact he's coming in here with that little bit of fitness as well. You know, we're very used to seeing Dan Scout and horses sort of build up through the season. They've got Money Garrow here. We need to see that he's going to jump a fence well first. The same could possibly be said there with Queensbury Boy as well. Both very talented, but I really do like that fitness aspect coming here to Chepstow, especially when you can get 13 to 2 about him and you're getting much shorter about the other two. You can almost back him as a little bit of an each way bet to nothing. So he is also on my radar at the moment. Liam, let's come to you. Who do you fancy for the Persian War?
Yeah, sorry, Queensbury Boy, as you have both mentioned there, and Daff suggested, obviously David Maxwell is sending all his horses to the sales on the Friday at Cheltenham for their showcase meeting. He was quite self-deprecating in the sense that he was suggesting, look, a professional jockey other than I being on board, that all these horses will improve. And he was very, very bullish on Queensbury Boy, and that's just led to his price being completely and utterly false, in my opinion. Obviously, the eagle-eyed members of who watched the show pointed out that one of my 5 to follow from Ireland is no longer trained in Ireland, and obviously he comes in here, sticks to the plan since he's moved to Ollie Murphy. I'm not quite sure about the move with the hood on first time, Joe, to be perfectly honest. Obviously, he won at Galway over the summer. He's a proper muggy each way bet now at 5 to 1, if that's the way you'd like to play it. I cannot see him outside the first 3. I think this horse is really talented. He was first put on my radar when it didn't go unnoticed. His point-to-point run, where he basically was slung out the back of the telly and made real rapid progress through the field before actually falling when coming to Mountain Challenge. And I think that he's a proper horse. We've seen that Ollie Murphy, if he gets a good one, he can certainly send them down the right routes and get results from them. The other one I just did want to touch on is more with a view from an Ante-Post perspective. I appreciate we're previewing Chepstow, and let's not get ahead of ourselves. But Money Garrow for Skelton and the same connections. They've already sent out the same ownership, sent out 2 horses already early this season. Fortune de Mare, who absolutely bolts up in a bumper, and then was third of 9 earlier in the week. And Country Mile has been sent over fences, who evidently is well handicapped. That would make me a little bit reluctant to part with my money first time up this season, thinking there's probably a plan further down the line. But keep those colours in mind when you're looking at county hurdles and grand annuals and whatnot. Stick to the plan for me though, Joe, and yeah, I'll have a hefty each way bet on him.
Yeah, lovely. One slight word of caution. I did hear today Ollie Murphy was suggesting that if there's not enough rain, they may actually wait until Cheltenham. So on that basis, Liam, would you wait until declarations?
Absolutely.
Oh wait, we have had
Decks
declarations.
were already in, weren't they?
Of course we have. Yeah, they have. Sorry, ignore me.
So you're and I suppose that's perhaps the fact why he's taking a bit of a drift, Joe. So then again, it's good to soft. I'm not sure how soft he really wants it.
Well, that's the thing, mate, because I think the initial talk was that the ground was going to be possibly too fast for him. But obviously with that rate, well, the fact that they've watered it now, shouldn't necessarily deem an issue. But when he ran in Galway, he had no problem. He beat Vicar Street, I think, when he was on good ground.
Exactly that, Joe. Yeah,
over there. Yeah. So look, maybe there's nothing in it. It's just a passing comment that I heard. But if he goes each way bet to nothing for Liam, on stick to the plan. Jaime Wrenn, come on then. Who you got for us? Kick us off with Chepstow. I know you're not that excited for this meeting, having looked through the cards, but what have you got for us from a betting angle?
Oh, it's quite simple, Joe. It's very simple, this race. Queensberry Boy will win. And
You think, you really think good thing?
He'll win easy. He'll win the right race last year. Final Demand, who's a stupid price for the Brown Advisory. A horse that you flagged last year, Lovely Hurlin, was second. Triply Flair, Funikai Fagola, whatever he's called, who I think is very well handicapped for a big 2.5 mile handicap this year at Cheltenham Festival. Shh, leave him alone. Do it, Jimmy Desai. He'll turn up in the Carl Cup and he'll win it. Behind Honesty Policy and Liam Firkin's favourite son, Regent Stroll, in a grade 1 in entry. Come on, is he not well handicapped? Shh, I'm talking too much here now.
We'll mute that bit in the edit.
Do you know what I mean? I agree with Liam Moneygarrow. Like, look at Fortune de Bear and Country Mile, who didn't try a year to be kind of Toxter, and they're only looking for a handicap mark, county hurdle, grand annual. But Moneygarrow, obviously.
There you are. Jamie said what I tried to say, but Jamie said it properly.
Sorry, I don't work for that checker, so I can say it. But anyway, all jokes aside, Moneygarrow is very interesting with the form of Win Beneath My Wings. I'm very disappointed with him because I absolutely had a monster bet in him in Kempton afterwards, and he was beaten by our boy Stan, at Kempton. But yeah, it's just simple. Queensberry Boy, and move on.
Okay, well, Queensberry Boy. Well, we're gonna be splitting the whole field there then, because although I like Jack Hyde quite strongly for this race, I actually think everyone's sleeping a little bit on the Gordon Elliott runner here. Kingsborg, I just can't believe that he's sort of 10-1. What I like about him more than anything, to be honest, is that his 2 races over this trip, he's travelled just really sweetly. And round Chepstow, if you can get a nice traveller, you're probably going to find they're not coming off the bridle until at least the bottom of the hill. And that's what I want. I want someone that's going to come up that hill. And I've been contemplating whether to side with Jack Hyde or Kingsborg, just based on the price. You can get double figures about Kingsborg. I don't quite understand why he should be that price. He actually beat a horse of Ross O'Sullivan's last time out called Strong Link, who's been a revelation this year. And I just think that form's really strong. He's already rated 132. We probably haven't seen the best of him yet. I think he's coming over for a reason. Of course, there's a bit of prize money. I just think I'd be really shocked if he's not in the first 3. So I will take a chance there on Kingsborg at 10-1, just on the base. I think he's a bit overpriced. He doesn't do much wrong, so I think he'll give us at least a good run for our money. And although I love Jack Hyde, is he going to be strong enough in the finish? Not too sure. I think he should be, but that's just up for debate for the time being. Okay, we move on to the 4:17, which is the dragonbet.co.uk Novices Chase over 2 miles, 7.5 furlongs. So just shy of the 3 mile trip. We've just got the 5 runners here, but it's a little bit of an interesting race, actually. We've got Art of Diplomacy, who's on a roll for Mickey Bowen, Coco Madam Wazelle for Dan Scout, and Double Powerful for Neil Mulholland. Knight of Elen for Jane Williams. Lovely horse, just can't seem to jump. And then we've got Welcome to Cartrees from the Paul Nichols team. We're going reverse order this time. Jamie, I'm not sure if you'll have anything in this race or not, really. But that Double Powerful, he won, I think, when I came over,
Yeah.
wasn't he, in that November?
Remember
They
that.
always come to my mind straight away. So, but is there anything of fancy here? I mean, what about the Nichols horse to start with?
I
Is
think
there
it's
anything?
quite simple. Yeah, you're just taking the words out of my mouth. It's just pure simple, regardless of price or anything like that. I think he'll grow up with more of an age. You could see from last year. Welcome to Catray should win this, and he should win this easy. I mean, like double powerful is I think more a handicapper job. Coco Mademoiselle barely won a Worcester the last day.
Mm,
Diplomacy's on a roll, but what's he been beating? Do you know what I mean?
sure.
I mean, like, look at the form from last year, like in the Esher Chase, horse that I was all over in that race. Handstands won that race. Resplendent Grey won a Whitbread, didn't he?
Did,
St.
yeah.
Digby was a good horse for John Joe. And then there's Welcome to Catray, 6 lengths behind, in fourth behind Handstands. Then he goes on and running the jukebox man's race at Christmas last
Oh,
year.
he did, didn't he? Yeah, of
So,
course.
I mean, like, he's been given time. Highland was in that. Mazzacchio, unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. They're all there. The form is there. I think Cobden, small runner field, go out in front, catch me if you can, and I think he should be winning this easy. I'll take if you give me 6-4 in this horse, I'll have a good decent bet now.
Good stuff, Jamie. I like that because I'm in your corner for this one. Liam.
Completely agree with everything that Jamie's just said.
Cool.
Obviously, getting £10 of Art of Diplomacy, who Jamie just mentioned, is on a bit of a roll. Obviously, Mickey Bowen started the season really fast, and obviously, when we spoke with Sean, he's ridden a good few winners for his dad, hasn't he? As well as his brother doing so as well. That Coco Mademoiselle needed every single yard. I think it was at Worcester the last day when winning at odds of 1-4. She couldn't be on my radar for this. Yeah, Welcome to Cartrees. I'm assuming Welcome to Cartrees will be odds on. So yeah, I wouldn't be a short price backer, but as Jamie's just mentioned, if any sort of price is 6-4, and I'll be getting stuck in as well, which isn't like me. So yeah, Cobden on board, Paul Nichols at Chepstow, a meeting where he's got a brilliant strike rate. I'd be all over it.
Tactical genius in the saddle, I think, as well, Harry Cobden. Daff, is it going to be a full house or are you taking on what we were expecting to be the Fav?
Yeah, it's full house, guys. Definitely on Welcome to Cartridge as well. He's the type of selection I think this weekend you just put in your accas if that's the way you play your doubles and your trebles, etc. Yeah, like the boys have said, they've summarised it as I would have said as well. If there's 6-4 on the day, you're going to put a good bet on him as well. To be fair, so no short and sweet. I'm be sticking with the Paul Nichols selection horse in Welcome to Cartridge. Harry Cobden on board as a bonus as always. So that's my selection. Simple as that.
Yeah, well, there we go. That looks like that's the podcast nap for the week anyway. Welcome to Cartrees. Let's hope we don't let anyone down there. We're going to go on to Saturday for the 2:10. Again, the Dragon Bet Novices Limited Handicap Chaser over 2 miles. This should actually be a really good race. They're going to go off at quite a pace here. There's some fast horses in the field. You've got Be Aware, the Kemble Brewery could be absolutely anything. My friend Sam. Interesting sort of line here. We've got no betting at the moment. Liam, do you have anything in here or not necessarily?
I don't mean to descend this into chaos, and it's perhaps something we should have discussed before, but it's only just come to mind, Joe. I thought that the structure of the racing had been changed in order for them to have beginners chases, so that you couldn't take your handicap hurdle mark straight over fences. That was what the rearrangement had been from the BHA. Perhaps we can address it next week.
Okay.
So that was my understanding. So I thought there'd be beginners chases replaced with these, and therefore the likes of Be Aware, who hasn't been over fences, wouldn't be running in a handicap over fences, but evidently he is. Be Aware is very interesting. The Kemble Brewery is definitely off a mark that I think is exploitable, whether that be in either code, over hurdles or over fences. I'd have to have another look at it, Joe, and I haven't got prices in front of me.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
not consulting Odds Checker, so but I'm not sure if it is priced up there. I'm looking at a different website. So if it is priced up, then obviously I'll have a second look. But no, given the number of races we're covering, mate, I don't have a strong opinion, but the Kemble Brewery is definitely one that I'll be keeping on side this season.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm in a similar boat here, mate, to be honest, because without the betting, it just doesn't help the influence of whether I want to back the horse or not, to be honest with you. Daff, on first glance, so have you found anything in here?
I'm the same as Liam and you, Joe.
Okay, that's all right. That's
I'm over
okay.
the Kemble Brewery at the moment. reason being, probably more or less, he's come out first time out in the last 2 seasons and won first time out. Obviously in October 2023 and October 2024, first time out he's won. So I do. It was one of my stronger fancies of the weekend, if I'm honest. I don't want to back BOR. Like I said, I'm not sure with all that weight he's going to carry, especially in his first race of offences, if that's the best thing for him to be in. So I'm siding with the Cheltenham Brewery. Despite him pulling up in his last race, like I say, he goes well fresh, first time out. Don't see any issue with that. The good to soft ground that we'd probably encounter on the day would be fine for him. So yeah, I'll be siding with the Cheltenham Brewery again. It's hard to pinpoint without any prices there, like you guys have said. But he's one of my stronger fancies of the weekend is the Cheltenham Brewery. So
He is. Okay.
I'll be siding with him.
Perfect. Nice one, Daf. Jamie, any sort of clarity on the situation either?
Move on.
Not too sure. Oh, I think you're on mute.
No interest.
No? Cool. Fine. No.
Jay, do you know what I just referred to? Have you got any? Can you shed any light? Because basically they're trying to model it on the same way that the island
They
operates,
were
isn't
saying
it?
about I think there was changed afterwards, though, Liam. I think this was set in stone, and all of a sudden then they put it in afterwards. Do you know what I mean? Getting rid of races and all that. No, I think it was there anyway, and they couldn't do anything about that. I think that's my take on
Oh, that's interesting, I suppose, as well. Especially when they tried to make they've made it a 3-dayer as well.
Yeah.
Just a quick word there on Be Aware though, lads, before we do go on. First time out in a handicap, Dan Skelton, top weight, 136, 2-mile chase. That's gonna have to be one hell of a performance, isn't it, to sort of win off that mark first time out. He's gonna have to be geared up to the nines, isn't he, to win off 136, you think, lads? If he jumps a fence well, you don't even
hit the nail on the head there, Joe. So I can't side with him, if I'm honest. People will side with him because it's the combination of Harry and Dan. But he's not for me this weekend at all. No, I can't back him first time out in that kind of handicap chase, especially over 2 miles. No, not for me, guys. Sorry.
I doubt even the Skeltons know, do they, Joe? As to how well he jumps.
That's very true. Yeah, there you go.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'd agree with you, mate. Hopefully he's installed as favourite, and then there's some value in behind him.
Well, to be honest with you, Be Aware, I think you just trickle around and have a run, and then on to the Paddy Power Gold Cup.
You reckon he'll go to Paddy Power, do you?
Well, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
He was aimed at the Greatwood, wasn't he? Same weekend last season, so possibly, yeah.
You look back and I'm not a stats man, you have to have a run to win a Paddy Power Gold Cup.
Okay, interesting. That's not a bad angle there, James. That gives us a bit of something to think about, doesn't it? Right, we move on.
He tipped the winner on it last year, Joe, Il Redondo, so he had a
run. Hey, we both did. Give me some credit too. I need it. Right, we move on, gents. We're going to move on to the Wodsall Group Silver Trophy Handicap Hurdle. 2 mile, 3.5 furlongs here. We do have betting for this one, so I'll give you a little bit of a long list here. So we've got Josh the Boss at 4-1, Friendship for Hobbs and White at 5-1, Royal Infantry at 6-1. Then we move down to double figures. Joya Machan is in here, Liam, for the scouting team. Nappers Hill, Cobbers, and Nichols. Rambo T at 10-1. Thanks for the help at 10-1, and any price you like for the remainder. Anytime we see that, thanks for the help, Jamie. It just reminds me of the bear. That does, do you know? Who wants to go first here? Has anyone got a nice fancy here? Jamie?
Yeah, he's one anyway. I think it's between. I had it down to 2. One Skeleton, one Thanks for the Help. Thanks for the Help. Obviously, one the big handicap hurdle. Look, he's up to £11. Is this? Yeah, up from 116 to 1.
Do you like him first time out? Do you this season? You think first time he'll be gunning?
The only thing is, he might be, Joe, because like the mark is there for a reason.
Okay.
But look who he beat. Ballysaxank. Beat him well at the Punchestown Festival. Ballysaxank obviously came over, won the big summer plate at Market Raisin. Stay Gold is a good horse. Murphy, Novotic for the Bromhead is one to Chase of Expert, and Cumnan Mera was form tied in with Royal Infantry last year ahead of won a beginner's chase last week at Listowel. American Sniper was 6th in that race. Getting on to he's 10-1. The horse that I really like, it depends if Skelton has it primed, is obviously Royal Infantry. The form is there to be seen. Ran over 2 miles in the Mersey after a wind operation. Never went to Cheltenham. Look at who he ran in the race with. Salvatore Mundi, Romeo Coolio, Carbo, Jet to Vegas, Triple E Flyer was behind it. Then went to the 3 miler, which I thought was too far from a park during the year. And then obviously who won that? Kiss Will,
wasn't it? Yeah.
This is Pearl. You ought to know who was very unlucky in the Kerry National. The form is there to be seen. And if he's ready and right at 2.5 miles. So I think that he's tripped, not 2 miles, not 3 miles. Royal Infantry at 6-1 is a cracking bet. So I think it's between. Thanks for the help. It's came to me, Joe, because the fact of the matter, it's 1 over course and distance. Won a per temps qualified there a couple of years ago, and everyone fancied him then for the per temps, but I didn't. But it's either or for me. The first two in the betting I wouldn't have for a month of Sunday is just not me. Now something could beat me out of going around the small tracks and all of a sudden turn up in the big handicap. It's a tough handicap, you know yourself. It's the first big handicap of the season. But form is form, so thanks for the help. And Royal Infantry for me, yeah, for definite. The two against the field for me, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting comparison. We just had a look at like Be Aware for the Scoutons. We said, he's probably one that isn't going to be quite ready. But when you look at someone like Royal Infantry, these hurdlers, like they're easier to get ready first time out, because they don't. It's a lot harder to jump fences and takes more effort than it does to jump hurdles. So you find with these Scouting horses, their hurdle runners generally perform better earlier on than what their chasers do. That's just something I've noticed anyway. Daff, we're going to come back to you.
Yeah. Sorry, James, to disappoint. I'm actually with the first two in this market. I think it's between them two, to be honest. So a bit of disagreement there, massively.
Tell Jamie why, Daft. Tell Jamie why.
I'm not going to lie. Well, I've a little nibble on French Ship already, guys. I think he's down to roughly 5-1 at the moment. I've had a little nibble on him at 6-1 a couple of days ago. Reason being, he ran in the meeting last year, but in a different race in the meeting. He ran in the Class 4 novices hurdle over 2 miles that day. He then came back a month later in November, ran on the same track at Chepstow and won over 2 miles, 3.5 miles, which is the distance that he'll be running in on Saturday. Josh the Boss as well, can't leave him out. He won the race last season. He's got a good claimer on board, Mr. Jamie Neal, who's currently claiming £7 on the day. I don't know. I think last year he was a bit lucky to win personally, but with regards to French Ship, you gotta have to have course form, I think, to win this sort of race. Course form at Chepstow is very, very important. Obviously, with all the undulations you get and the tight, twisty bends and all that kind of stuff, and the jump in that has to come to the fore. It does get quite tacky down the track as well. Hopefully, it doesn't come too tacky for French Ship on the day because he's a very good horse on good soft ground and good ground. So I'm siding with him more than Josh the Boss. And off 128, he's not badly handicapped. Michal Nolan's a very good jockey. He's partnered him on each occasion, I think, in his career. So they have a good combination together. I'm quite sweet on him. So his last race was in January this year, so it is his first time out again. Yet I don't see that an issue. But yeah, it's more the course form that's siding me towards French Ship rather than Josh the Boss, guys. So I am going to side with French Ship. And like I said, I backed him already at 6-1 a few days ago.
Got some nice horses this year as well, hasn't he, Hobson White? I noticed there they've got Tom Doniphan as well. It looks like he's going to like it. They got Callum Pritchard sort of in the saddles. They could have two good darts there, the Hobbs team. But that's French Ship just over Josh the Boss for Daff. Liam, is there a big price fancy in here for you, or?
I think the price will get bigger, and it would be Greyvale for Fergal O'Brien. Interestingly, given a spin at Newbury on the flat over 1 mile 6 and won her last 2 starts last season. She definitely wants a trip. The further, the better. And given the fact, I know this is over the intermediate distance, but it's obviously undulating. It takes some getting, as you say, that stiff uphill finish at Chepstow as well, Joe. So I don't think it's a bet now. I'll be waiting. I think the price will drift. So yeah, Jonathan Burke, obviously the jockey that's retained at that yard at Ravenswell, is on board. That would be really interesting. Anybody considering backing Joya Machan? This day isn't the day.
Okay. I was wondering what you were going to let us know about him,
Yeah, well, obviously just try to help people out where I can. Good friends of mine own the horse. And although they're not overly privy to what's going on with him, to be honest, I do know that wait for entries for Haydock. Royal Infantry, I think Jamie made a really good case. Royal Infantry is a really smart horse. Obviously was the best of the British, which isn't saying much, but in the Champion Bumper a couple of seasons ago, and I think Jamie made a really good case for him. I think that Skelton will be trying to mop up as much prize money at every given opportunity, especially with the idea that Gaelic Warrior is definitely going to come over for the King George, that Amsterdam may even come for the fight in 5th. So maybe even Willie's thinking, look, if I want to win this 3 years on the bounce, I'm going to have to get a bit more prize money earlier in the bank. So Royal Infantry could well be the overpriced one in here. So for me, it'd be between Royal Infantry, if wants to play 2 against the field, then Greville. But I would wait a few days and watch that price drift out to a more attractive each way bet.
Okay, lovely. It was a pretty decent bumper that's turned out to be as well, hasn't it? To be fair, like we weren't too sure at the time, but
That was Facts to File Dream to Share here, was it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
And
Jamie.
Lecky Watson was in 5th or something as well, I think.
Yeah, it's just it's stacking up now, isn't it? Sort of as we sort of progressed a little bit, you know. Interesting. Yeah, you're both sort of selling Royal Infantry, even sort of to me there a little bit as well. There's 2 runners in here that are interesting for start. Okay, Christian Williams has Last Rodeo and Kepler's Law, both dropped up at the moment by Jack Tudor. Both got the same ownership, all of that jazz. I think if Last Rodeo runs here, he's going right under the radar. But because they've got 2 entered, I don't want to tell anyone to go back in him just yet. And there's one a little bit further down called Sign Above for Charlie Longston and Lily Pinchin. We're fortunate enough to have Lily on the channel a few weeks ago, and we asked her for, asked for a horse to follow, and she said, sign again, love him to bits, won 2 novice hurdles on him. She said he's going to come into his own again. Even this season, he's only a 5-year-old now, so he's getting bigger, stronger. He has won a point over 3 miles. And I'm not saying that because of any sort of point form, but the fact that he stays further than this trip to me is a massive bonus, because they can go as fast as you want on him. He's not going to mind that hill whatsoever. If you want to sort of hold him off from the back and use a little bit of his kick, which he has actually shown in some of his wins, then he can do that as well. The fact that he's versatile, the fact that he's been targeted at this race, the fact that he's 25-1 in an open field, I'll just take my chance on him on this occasion. Lily seemed quite keen that, that he had a good chance when he was going to come to Chepstow. This has been the target. So hopefully they can start their season with a nice winner, because Charlie Longston, to be fair, has struggled to get the ammunition in the last few seasons, but he's a more than capable trainer. We've seen plenty of big winners from Charlie Longston. Okay, we move on to the 4 o'clock at Chepstow, which is the 2-mile Paul Ferguson's Jumpers to Follow 4-year-old hurdle. Again, this is a really good looking race, in my opinion. Could come down to tactics, could come down to who's ready first time out. Has anyone got any bet in there in front of them? Because I haven't. If not, it's okay. Cool. We have Gibbs Island, Sir Galahad, It's Something Good, AV Moore, Turn and Finish, Static. Interesting runner there, Matra on Science. Haven't seen him for some time now. Mutard, Torrent, a pretty decent horse last season for the most part. Naradaran is an interesting one as well for the Nichols team. Jamie, I'm actually going to come to you first here and see if there's anything in the pipeline for you.
I actually backed Nardaran in Novice Handicap final at Sandown. Very disappointing. Cobden finished actually behind him on the favourite, Sacralur. He'd be the only one interested down the bottom at 10 stone 9. If there's a bit of money for him, but after that, I'm clutching at straws really. But he was the one that stood out for me. And if he's a decent price each way, and if I'm up, I might have a little bet each way on him. But it's a very open race.
Yeah, look, James, that's absolutely fine. As you know, we like to just be as honest as possible with our viewers. We're not going to try and start telling you to back things that we're not going to back ourselves. That's not how you get rich in punting. Liam, what have you got for us in the 4-year-old hurdle?
I want to go back 12 months and not back Liari, and I had a massive bet on him in this. I'm not going to be fooled twice. However, Matreon Science was a little bit of a talking horse. Obviously, he went to Harry Durham. I also did a little bit of analysis around trainer strike rates at particular meetings. And albeit there were a few stones thrown in my direction, given the fact that Harry Durham has the highest strike rate. He has only had 17 runners, but you can't exclude younger trainers. Like I tried to give it a balance to include the likes of himself and all the.
Well, I suppose then, Liam. So say if you've got a trainer, you look at those stats and they've had 5 runners, 4 winners. Would you discount that? Too little of a stockpile to look at, sort of thing?
Yeah, basically. So I ended up, because otherwise you could look at, so you could get to 4 runners, 4 winners, and it could be Kerry Lee, who when she sends a horse to the track, they perform. Fantastic trainer, but just as you say, Joe, given the amount of the number of runners they've had there, it's just not a true reflection. But there has to be a line that you have to, the parameters you have to set yourself. So I set them at 15. They had to have a minimum of 15 runners at the track. Durham's had 17, and therefore he's got the highest strike rate. But also he's in the same mould of the Skeltons. Obviously, he's learnt his trade from Paul Nichols. They start the season very early, so keep on your radar the likes of himself and Sam Thomas and various others for the early part of the season. And given that Matreon Science is turning up here, he needs to jump better than he did last season. He was one who I thought was going to be a little bit of a shoe-in or have a fantastic chance even at Cheltenham in the Boodles. That didn't turn out to be the case. Okay. The one that I would fall on is the one that we were not given, but it was suggested to both of us, Joe, and I'll let you take it away from here, I think, mate.
Well, yeah, turn and finish, I guess. Is that where you're going with this one?
Oh, no, I meant Hope Rising from Jamie Snowden.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's because when we were in the DRF, we spoke to one of the owners, and she had turn and finish.
We did indeed. Yeah, there we are. There's the forecast.
There we go. I didn't know if that's where you were going with that, but there you go. Yeah, Hope Rising for Jamie Snowden. He's definitely a horse that's on the up anyway, you know. And if you're looking at these 4-year-old horses, you don't really want anything that's like too exposed, do you? You want to know they're in good form, they're in good nick. There's more to come. So, and Jamie Snowden banged in 3 or 4 winners today as well. And of course, we've got Wendigo running on Sunday. So hopefully that form continues between now and then.
That's one.
There's one. I knew you were going to comment then. I was like, in the corner of my eye.
Jamie's got a Wendigo ticker. 1,
2.
But we have. It's interesting, like you said there about Harry Deeren, because he's definitely worth. He's definitely worth watching this season. Now, I don't mean to be a critic of the likes of Harry Fry, for example, but Harry Deeren's been really, really smart, because since he left Paul Nichols, I'm not mentioning Wendigo, that's the third. Stop that face.
Too easy.
But that's strike 3, Jamie.
Get out of his mouth.
Anyway, Harry Deeren, in all honesty, you have to have him as your trainer to follow this year. When Harry Fry left Paul Nichols, he inherited, you know what I mean, Harry, Rock on Ruby. As soon as they'd done their winning, he hadn't invested anywhere else across, you know, anywhere. So he had no fresh stock. Harry Deeren's come straight out of the blocks. He's had a good season last year, despite losing his gallops for a month or two. And this year he was the top buyer at the Cheltenham sales. He's got Crystal D'Estival, Clondal Park, a few other really nice horses. And because of that, his strike rate seems to be bloody good. It sort of backs up what Liam's saying about, you know, his aspirations this year. He is definitely a trainer you need to have inside, because he's not about now. He's on about progressing through the future. And I like the fact that he's gone and spent some money nice and early. It will work or it won't, and it seems to be doing pretty good for him at the moment. Look, lads, no strong fantasy for me in here, to be honest. So Daf or Jamie, have you two got anything that stands out really?
Okay, you mentioned Hope Rising, Joe.
Yes.
When the market does come out, I probably will side with him, because he's been running all summer. You mentioned as well the trainer strike rate, Jamie Snowden. Just had a quick look on his strike rate at the moment. He's had 7 wins in his last 12 runners. So he's 58%. He's operating a 58% strike rate at the moment, which is very good. Hope Rising, now, his last race, you'll notice he was behind a horse that's running in the Welsh Champion Hurdle tomorrow, on Sunday as well, called Inside Man. He's been heading for that particular race as well. So stay tuned for that race. I might have a sneak peek onto who I side with in the Welsh Champion Hurdle on Sunday. But Hope Rising did finish 2 3/4 lengths behind him in his last race last month. But like I said, he's been running all summer long, and I think Fitness Edge will count in this race personally. There are a few horses coming into this race back off a long layoff. So I think it could be down to who's got the Fitness Edge, who's been running more of late recently. And Hope Rising does have decent form to his name. I wouldn't say exceptional, decent form. 3 hurdle wins from 7 starts as well. Can't really fault that in his early start of his career. So I like you did mention Joe, Hope Rising. I think when the markets do come out, I'll see what price he is, and I may have a sneak on him.
Yeah, look, Duff, it's that thing again, isn't it? It's that fitness edge, isn't it? At least you know you've got a horse that's going there to win the race, you know. And the fact his form is it 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, similar to that, isn't it? And the fact that he's been running in slightly better company each time and still holding his own, he's going the right way, isn't he? So I love that. Yeah, I'm all with you there. I, again, don't really have a fancy in the race, but I'm like you, Duff. I wouldn't put anyone off that fitness edge and the fact that he's sort of coming forward all of the time.
Quite literally, which is bizarre, Joe. His form is 1-2, 1-2, 1-2.
It is actually, is it once every 14? Yeah, okay, well there you go. But I like that. I like that for these sort of horses, you know. There's more, there's gotta be more to come. There's gotta be more to come. Where there's plenty of unexposed and maybe horses that are a little bit quirky in there, and it's a risk before you even get to the track with some of them, you know. Right, let's move on to Sunday. 2 mile, 3.5 furlong, Tom Malone Bloodstock Novices Chase. We do have Tom Malone on soon, and it just so happened to be that he actually sourced Wendigo for us as well. So we have Wendigo in here. We were second to the New Lion in the Challow Hurdle, and we were then fifth in the Brown Advisory after nearly unseating Gav on the home turn. And we'd have definitely been there fighting in the finish. But what that did confirm is that we've got a nice horse now to go forward with Novice Chasing. We do also have Blue King Daru, Doyen Quest. Will Mount is an interesting recruit there for Rebecca Curtis. Very, very fragile, but cost, I think, 400 grand at this after winning his point sort of a couple of years ago now. Even Speculatrix is over here, Jamie. Interesting runner. This is a mare that we've sort of had a close eye on a few times now. I'm going to go to you first, Jamie, because you'll have a fancy, I know you will.
Yeah, there's only one winner of this race, and it's not Wendigo.
Oh, wait, there's five. There's another count. You can add that.
Oh no, no.
You like the top weight. You like Blue King here, don't you?
Oh, Blue King Daru will win this.
You like the horse in general as
I
well.
like the horse in general. Yeah,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
an out 2.5 miler. I think it's the same exactly with Welcome to Catch It's pure Cobden-esque. Out in front, catch me if you can. Use his jumping. Obviously reversed the form with lucky placement the Carl Hurl in the select hurdle at Sandown. Look at was behind him Salver and Kits Buhel. I know a lucky place was fourth. I know. Look, Wendigo. All jokes aside, was a great fifth in the probably would have finished closer to Big Westerner, I suppose, in second or third. Probably
Third, fourth,
Jasmine
something like that.
No, he'd have been second. He'd probably been third behind the Big
Yeah,
Westerner.
that's my honest opinion too. I believe the same.
That I put up the follow was in obviously in the other part in Derry Aston Paddy, who I see a lot of people talking about now already, which is fine. Wendigo for me, Joe, is a national chase horse. That's just me. I think he's an out and out stare. We go on. I see some people calling him a boat. He's not a boat, but look, they're obviously going to call him a boat because he might be in that race that I think he should run in, and I understand that part. And you have to take these into factor of accounts. But that is the race for me. I think he should be in later on the season. He could improve into a Brown's horse, no question, with the form of last year's Albert Bartlett. But for me, at the moment, the present moment in time, and this only October, my first opinion, I think he's the race won by Haughty Calor last year. I think, will probably for him. So that I think is hopefully he'll have a good introduction. I hope he jumps well, but I think he'd struggle for a pace if Blue King Daru runs here, and I think Blue King Daru will win.
Yeah, it's definitely on the sharp side to to where we're aiming. As I've let you boys know already, we are aiming at the Brown Advisory first and foremost, but it'll certainly stay further if need be. But yeah, let's aim at the Browns and see how we go. Liam, who do you fancy in the Novice Chase?
This kind of opinion that's being based on Wendigo, in my opinion, is basically blinkered viewing from people's perspective around the colours that are draped over the jockey that rides that horse. If Wendigo was in the green and gold or was in Jigginstown colours or whatever, they would be talking about how he was impacted and impeded during the Albert Bartlett, that he would have finished closer. He's second to the New Lion, who some people think is the second coming of Jesus Christ himself and is the next champion hurdle winner. The fact that he's got...
Jamie does.
He is, yeah.
There you are. So, and the fact that he has RC and that he's owned by multiple owners, which I think is fantastic. He's really underappreciated, undervalued. He's, in my opinion, he's not a 4-miler. Jamie Snowden was very quick to correct us, Joe, when we interviewed him about the fact that he does not lack speed. And I think he'll win this. I think Blue King Daru has had his chances. He won at the back end of last season, yes. And Jamie mentioned that form line. That form line reads really well. But it's the back end of the season after every horse had a pretty grueling season for a good few months. I think Wendigo wins. I think he'll be there to win. And I think they're going to campaign him as a proper Browns horse, and with the view to hoping that he'll be a Gold Cup horse in future, and not just because of your own involvement, Joe. I genuinely believe he'll be undervalued, he'll be overpriced, and the more that people give the horse the appreciation for his own ability and his own merit, you'll be rewarded with a big prize throughout the season. So I think he wins this, and I think he is a proper Browns candidate, not a National Hunt Chase candidate from my perspective.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear. Jamie, I'm not happy with you. No, I'm only joking. It's fine. Mate. It's fine. We are like you said, we're chicken. We are campaigning him as a Brown advisory horse. Absolutely. We're basically gonna try and follow the same route as the jukebox man. Hopefully go to the KO Star and sort of go from there. He is absolutely ready to go. Anyway, there's nothing wrong. He will come on for his first run just like he did last year. He got beat by Battleborn Lad in the finish, and he just improved at the rate of knots throughout the season. And look, dead excited for him this weekend. Daff, who do you fancy in the race? You don't honestly, you don't. Seriously, you don't have to just say Wendigo just because you're involved.
I honestly do wish you the best with Wendigo for the entire season, Joe. To be fair, I
Cheers,
think
cheers.
smashing horse, brilliant run in the festival last season. And I genuinely think it's between him and Doyen Quest in this race on Sunday, guys. I think I'll side with Doyen Quest. I do think over this trip and the fact he's had 2 chase starts already, again, it comes around the fitness edge. I've mentioned that a couple of times tonight. I just think Doyen Quest, he had his first start over fences in May this year, and that was over 2.5 miles on good ground, which he probably will encounter come Sunday. And then he stepped down in trip, which was a bit weird last month in Worcester. That wasn't a good run for him. It was disappointing with that particular run, Joe. So going back up to just under 2.5 miles, 2 mile 3 furlong, it definitely will suit him. And like you've made a brilliant story about Wendigo. Everything you said about Wendigo is absolutely brilliant. And I really do hope you have a terrific season with him this year. Doyen Quest, I think, is going to be. Yeah, I think he's got the fitness edge. Like I do keep coming back to. He's got a bit of course form. Finished second in the Silver Trophy here last season. So I'll side with him. I'll side with him, Joe. I got no other case to make rather than that. To be fair.
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. That's fine. It is interesting that he dropped him back for 2 miles, isn't it? But like you said,
that was a weird decision, I thought.
is that again, that blow away the cobweb sort of run and getting ready for this?
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah,
Potentially
yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. Well, look, again, I'm not going to say too much more. Obviously, I'm going to hope we can go out there and get the job done first time. I own quite a decent chunk of Wendigo, but there's hundreds of others as well that are actually involved too. And if you'd like to come over and join us at Race Club, I'll pop a link in the description below. You're welcome to get involved and meet us at the races, attend as the owner, get your share in the prize money, and all of that good stuff. But I'm just hoping that he goes out there, runs well, and then we can kick on for the rest of the season. One more to go at Chepstow, and it is the 2 mile Welsh Champion Hurdle. I love this race. I really do enjoy it. A little bit of a shame that it's over at moved from Foss last. But I suppose, like Daff was saying just before, I suppose this has helped them enable like a 3-day festival. Perhaps they should have run it on a different day to the Persian War. Doesn't matter. We've got a good race anyway. We've got Celtic Dino, who was second in the race last year at 5-2. Tutti Quanti at 4-1. Listen to Your Heart at 8-1. Willful at 8-1. Bal Hambar for Harry Deerham again at 12s. Inside Man at 12s. Interesting recruit there. No Risk, No Fun. Came from Willie Mullins. Been off the track a long time now. Over 1,000 days. Going to take some doing, isn't it? But really good race here, gents. Daff, I'm going to stick with you for the Champion Hurdle.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I'm going to side. I mentioned him earlier on in the video. It's going to be Inside Man. He has taken a bit of a drift lately in the market. He was at roughly 8-1 a couple of days ago. He's now gone up to about 12-1, I think. So a bit of a concern there on the drift. The case to be made with him, though, I think he ran last month in September, and I did mention a horse earlier with you guys, Hope Rising, and he did beat Hope Rising in that race. And I do think if Hope Rising wins on the Saturday,
okay,
it's going to boost the form for Inside Man on Sunday. He's well handicapped. He only got up £4 since that race at Newton Abbott. And he's got good course form as well. He won in the meeting. He won in the April meeting here at Chepstow earlier this year, Class 4 Novice Hurdle. So that's over course and distance. Can't complain about that. I don't want to side. I mentioned on my podcast, I don't want to side with Tutti Quanti, despite the fact he ran a decent race in the Supreme. Off 1-3-2 in this race is going to be a bit of an ask for him, I think. But Inside Man is for me. It's just the drift that's concerning me at the moment. So we wait and see come Sunday. But he'll be my selection I think it's
Yeah.
12-1 now, Joe. So we wait and see on that.
They've still got it down at the moment as sort of good ground on the Sunday. But even if it is that inside man, he actually won on. I just had a look only because you mentioned there. He's got course and distance and he won on good ground, doesn't he, Daff? So he'll
Absolutely.
be fine whatever happens. It's a strange drift unless there's something that
Yeah.
we don't know what's going on. Yeah, I like that. Jamie.
Yeah, he's definitely each way betting the race.
Yeah,
Like
good.
he's
There
the
we
one
go.
I was looking at. Poor Daff made a great case from, and the other one he's mentioned is obviously Tutti Quanti. Yeah, I just stick this race in fast last because he's won twice in fast last Tutti Quanti,
Yeah.
which is very
Yeah.
annoying. But look, the form is there to be seen. Joe obviously was behind Kopek, William Money, Romeo Curie, Carney, Case, Salvatore Monday in a Supreme. The horse that he beat 5 lengths in the stream, Baransi, won a grade one at Punchestown.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
there's
Yeah.
your form to be seen. But I like the angle with Inside Man because he's ran and he's form and he's fit and he's coming on, and this could be the race for him, and that's it. So do you know what I mean? So maybe Tutti Quanti will be looking at races further in the season, but I think they're the two against the field. If you want to back Tutti Quanti to win, 4-1 and 12-1 Inside Man for me each way. They're the two who stood out of mine for me.
Yeah. Okay. Nice, Jamie. Nice. And Liam.
Balhambar caught my eye, especially with Harry Durham's record here. The fact that he'll have them fit and firing, that was definitely one on my radar. No risk, no fun was interesting, given the fact obviously he's moved from Willie Mullins, has a perfect 3-from-3 record, has moved to Sam Thomas. Be interested to see what he does this season. Wouldn't be a bet in this. I absolutely adore Cracking Rhapsody. I like that horse, how progressive he's been, continues to win. He predominantly does his winning in Scotland, but even when those races get competitive towards the back end of the season, still managed to win a big handicap last year. Probably slightly
You tipped him up at one of them, didn't you? A big prize.
Yeah, I think when I was skinter than skint as well, Joe, and I was having a bit of a bad time with things.
So you were having a wobble.
Why.
Yeah, having a wobble. Yeah, having a wobble.
So that's probably why there's a bit of emotional attachment. I can't lie. For me, the play in this race, I would be looking at Titan Discovery, who won a handicap particularly well at the back end of last season. I think it was at Windsor, obviously with racing returning there, jumps racing returning to Windsor. He'd be one on my radar. Other than that, Balhambar, I think, will more than likely be the main play in this. And I think 12-1 is actually a really good each way price. So Balhambar for me in this, mate.
Okay. Well, as you boys know from last season, I'm a massive fan of Celtic Dino. I love the Dr. Dino progeny. I think he's a really quick horse, good horse. Second in the race last year, different track. I know. I think he's going to be dreadfully hard to beat here, gents. I really do. I think he's absolutely going to be primed to the nines for this, and then he might go quiet, and we won't see him until like the Betfair or something, much further down the line. So I do like the favourite, but that Cracking Rhapsody, Liam, he's catching my eye this weekend. Is this another one? I actually wish we sort of maybe contacted you and Willens and maybe got him on the channel at some point because he's a really good trainer. Like you said, he managed to get three big wins out of him actually last season. I didn't realize it was three. And these two are weighted to go pretty similar here. I think Celtic Dino will do him for a little bit of speed, but again, you're getting 16-1 there about Cracking Rhapsody at the same time. So it would be between the two there for me. But wouldn't it be interesting if the ex-Mullins recruit went and bolted up, no risk, no fun, and just thought, so.
If anybody wants to go to dig into the back form of horses after long layoffs for Sam Thomas and how they've gone, that might be an indication. He's not jocked up currently, but maybe wants to keep on.
Well, there we go. And Dylan Johnson, he's worth his weight in gold as that apprentice. Honestly, brilliant jockey he is. He was awesome all last season. I don't even know how much longer he's got on that £3 claim, but he'll get rid of that in no time. Okay, well, that's Chepstow done, lads. Me and Daff are going to shoot off in a minute, but not before we get the best bets for Chepstow. Daff, and we are going to start with you there.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Excellent. My best bet of the entire weekend is going to be the race after the Welsh Champion Hurdle. So it'll be 3:52 Sunday afternoon. Yep. There's some interesting types in this race, Joe. You got a few Cheltenham winners in there. I think you've got Il Ridotto, a Paddy Power Gold Cup winner. You've got Unexpected Party at the top of the weights. None of them take my fancy at all in this race, guys. It's going to be a horse right down number 10 in the race, Range. I am backing him once the markets come out. He's got very good course form. I keep coming back to the course form. I just think Chepstow is one of those courses and tracks you really need to have good experience on. His first ever race in his career was at Chepstow. Finished second of 13 in a bumper. Fine with that. Then he went on his second race to Chepstow in his career was a 2.5 mile on heavy ground. He won that through the mud in December of 2023. He ran in the meeting last year, and the race he ran in last year at Chepstow was a similar distance to what he's going to be running on Sunday. He was leading this race at the time, guys, when he fell, I think, 5 out. He was really, really tanking along, really, really going well, and unfortunately fell into Dylan Johnston. So draw a line through that because he came out the race after that. His next race after that was back at Chepstow and he won the one again. So very good course form. I'm really liking his profile. And off 129, he's only had 6 chase starts. I wouldn't write him off too badly for this race. So I think it'd be a double figure price come the day, guys. I wouldn't be put off having a bit of each way money on him. So yeah, range is going to be one of my best each way fans for the weekend. So yeah, keep an eye on his price though. Like because prices aren't out for Sunday. Decks aren't even out. I mean, he hasn't got a jockey booking yet. So just be aware if you are thinking of signing with him. You know, you don't know who's going to be riding him yet.
Sure. I know he fell that time, but he's a good jumper in general. If I remember,
he's a very good jumper, Joe. And he was leading that time at Chepstow. Just got a bit of lost concentration. Do you know what I mean?
I remember it now. That's right. I remember it now.
Run the wrong bend at Chepstow. Just fell off while leading, and a bit unfortunate. But he came back the race after, won at Chepstow again. Like I said, his course form is very, very good. So I wouldn't write him off at all.
Love that. I love the fact that there's one outside of the races too. Nice one, Daf. Liam, best bet for Chepstow?
Sniping the 245 on Saturday for Dan Skelton. Tristan Doral on board, taking off £3, the Native River Handicap Chase.
Who is it, sorry?
Snipe.
Got you. There we go. Another good one.
That'd be my best bet. I think he's been primed for this. He's had a couple of spins over fences over the course of the summer at places like Worcester. He's not put his best foot forward. I bet you he does on the weekend.
Okay. And I love that. I'll bet you he does at the weekend. Jamie?
Blue King Daru beat Wendigo.
Blue King Daru. Okay, so I can't go with Wendigo.
Take me on.
Let's go. No, because we'll give the viewers like a lucky 15. I'm gonna just stick with the Fav and the Welsh champion hurdle. Let's go with Celtic Dino, and he can be the multiplier for us because I think he's gonna be really geared up for this. Sam Thomas loves this race. He ran the 2 last year, first and second, and he won't want to give up that title even if it's at a different track. Okay, well, me and Daff are gonna swiftly skedaddle while the.
Can I just say, Joe, before anybody decides to tune out now because it's not National Hunt, I've got one of my best bets of the weekend that's at 50 to 1. And Jamie has got a certainty that he's promised everybody he's going to win.
In all fairness, we did discuss this in the week, and I said, no, lads, I'm in jumps mode now. I'm finished. And Jamie said, I got something. I fancy something. I like it. And then Liam's, 50 to 1. Do not leave. Stick around for the good stuff. Daff, as always, thank you so much. We're not going to leave it as long this time, Daff, until you come back. Maybe we'll have you on for Cheltenham or something, much nearer. Like, so I really enjoy your company. I think you gel well with us. And
thanks, guys. Great for having me on, Joe. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Jamie, as always. And Liam, nice to meet you as well, mate. So
absolutely. Yourself too, Daff. Have a great weekend.
Guys, enjoy the weekend, and you'll enjoy Chepstow, guys. I'm sure you will.
Daff, let's disappear and do some Ante-Post punting. We'll leave the to it. Right, catch you later, boys.
Yeah, guys.
Oh, thank God they're gone. Hey, we'll move on to Newmarket for the flat. Thank God the flat's still on. Anyway, we'll get into the National Hunt. I am not in National Hunt mode yet. Unfortunately, I am all about the flat. So we'll move on to 6 races we're going to preview from Newmarket. 2 on Friday, which are declared, and 4 on Saturday, which are good races in their own right. Obviously, the Dewhurst. So, but first is the 225 at Newmarket on Friday, the 10th of October, is the 7 furlong Challenge Stakes, Group 2. Cosmic Year for Harry Charlton is 2 to 1. Bavatier is 3s. Portmaster is 5s. Audience is 6s. And Scoville is 6 to 1. Liam, who'd you fancy here?
I did really like the look of Audience, thinking that Audience just wins a race at some point. Like, he just puts a performance together, Jay. But if he doesn't get all his own way up front, then he'll split the dummy out. And looking at this race, most of them, even if you go back through their back form, even with Cosmic Year or whoever it may be, most of them have been led, or they've led or been certainly prominent anyway as a minimal. So then I started thinking, well, do I really want to back audience at 6-1? There's literally a 4-point gap between the top of the market and the bottom. So I know that we're excited to still get stuck into the flat, but Jay, to be honest, I haven't got a bet, and I don't even think I really care about watching it either. But audience was the one when he was a few points bigger. Hopefully, you can steer people in the direction of a winner, because I don't think I can, mate.
Like, it's that bad. Like, Casimir doesn't like winning races. He travels like a very, very good horse. Didn't do it in France in that race. But actually, I don't like that horse. Audience for me is just a one-trick pony. I really like Portmaster here. Really think he's a good bet at 5-1. Look, there's no each way value here. There's only a 6-runner race. But he won over course, and this is a Class 2 handicap, but started last season. He's been running all the good races. He was beaten a half a length to Longchamp last day by Rochefort, who obviously ran in the Prix de la Forêt the weekend, who was beaten by a good horse, Marina or Charlie. John in the car park and all that. Do you know what I mean? Rochefort was a can horse, 8 in that race into the Forêt. I wouldn't beaten that far, but obviously Marinara was a decent one. But if you watch back the race, everyone think it was Aragana, no offense to him, in the race, but it was actually Rochefort behind and then he just faded. I think Portmaster's form here with him, Portmaster, to be honest, with Rochefort, is definitely a bet here, and he's run one over course and distance, so it's not a great race, but I'll just take a chance that Portmaster is his turn, if you know what I mean, in this type of race. Earlier in the week, I thought Marvin Man was going to run, and I saw a thing, and he's not even here, so
Yeah.
that was the one that was going to win that. But look, a slight tentative vote on Portmaster for me anyway. I'm definitely going to back it because I think it's just a poor race. We'll move on to the Group 1, if it loads here on my bloody phone. The Group 1 Filly's Mile, and the favourite here is Precise for Aidan O'Brien at 7-4, the Moigler winner. Legacy Link 9-2, Dance to the Music 13-2, Queen of Hawaii 10s, Moon Targets 11, Composing won't run here, and a big 50-1 bar. Take it away, Liam Firkin.
Yeah, I want a bit of that 50-1. I think Amora Queen is very much overlooked. She was only ever going to improve for stepping up in trip. If you go back to her debut appearance, I think it was at Doncaster, she finished, I think it was 4 lengths ahead of the third. It was a horse called, well, my laptop loads up. Obviously beat Artonis and beat a horse by 11 lengths. Just Call Me Angel. Now that Just Call Me Angel then came out and beat Calendar Girl. Calendar Girl is now current favourite for a Group 3 earlier on in the card on the day at Newmarket. Now, if she goes in, this horse will not be 50s. She definitely wanted to step up and trip. The ground wouldn't have suited that day and still managed to win by 4 lengths. And obviously, as I've just mentioned, 11 lengths in behind that was that Just Call Me Angel. Yes, they'll all improve at different rates. At 50-1, given the fact it's got a perfect record, was most recently seen on the All Weather, probably gave short price back as a bit of a fright, given that she won by just a head on the All Weather. But back on turf, over the mile, there's a reason they're chucking her into this Group 1. She doesn't know which quality of race that she's in. She's just in a race, and she's going to run it at 50-1. It is one of my best bets of the weekend, which might sound daft to some, but that's the way that I put Amora Queen at 50s each way is definitely a bet for me in this, mate, in the Fillies Mile.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed last day with Precise's form. To be honest, Beautify wasn't great in the Cheveley Park. To put me off Precise. I know it's one at Goodwood, and it's one in Moigler. Third was Venetian Sun. I'll be taking on Precise. I think that's the music has to be. Oh my God, I'm saying it twice in a week. I'm forgiving this horse. Obviously, it's first time out debut won on the Roddy Mile. Then won on the July course. Went to Saratoga, wasn't it? Was absolutely mullered at the start and was 5-4 favourite and still only beaten a length. It's 13-2 to find out here. Back on won twice at Newmarket. I know different tracks, but it's Newmarket. It doesn't matter in my opinion. Roddy Mile debutant winner 13-2 to find out here is massive. She won the Sweet Solera obviously on the July course. I think this horse has a cracking bet each way, and it's Dance to the Music for me. And
over the course of the week, Jay, Moon Targets moved from 40s into 20s, and what I'm currently looking at is now 11-1. are people throwing good money after bad, or would you be forgiven? She was hanging, it was ugly, it wasn't pretty the last day, or can you see an angle to forgive her for that and she's still overpriced at 11s?
No, I'm dance to music.
Yeah, I'd be the same as you. I wouldn't go near her. I can't believe that she's a quarter of the price she was, but
Right, we move on to Saturday, the 13.50 to 10 to 2 in clock terms is the Night of Thunder Zetland Stakes. I struggle with this team big time. The favourite here is Endorsement for Aidan O'Brien at 5 to 2. Look to the stars, 4s, a credit 9 to 2. Pezzo San Marco is 7s. Bait of Brilliance is 8s. Christmas Day is 10 to 1 and 14 to 1 bar. I don't have a selection in this. Liam, you might be telling me one.
oh, I wish I could save the day, Jay. I was struggling just like you, mate. It's a crappy race, isn't it? It's difficult. And if I try and make a case for anything, I'll just be being ungenuine anyway. So I haven't got anything, mate. Sorry.
Lovely. We'll move on to the 225, the Emirates Autumn Stakes, a mile over Group 3 over a mile. The favourite here for Godolphin is El Zanati at 7 to 2. Hankalo is 7 to 2 for Picard Burke. Straight up 4 to 1. Commanders in 10 is 10s in New Zealand is 10 to 1. Bar. Anything in here, Liam? I really struggled with this as well. I'm not going to lie.
It's almost if we shouldn't have bothered. No, I do like Dorset in here. Obviously, he's got a lot more experience than most of the other runners in the field. It's just jockey bookings, isn't it, with the O'Brien outfit? You're waiting to see who's dropped up on what, and that'll give you an indication as to what they believe back at home in terms of what's got the best chance. So very tentative, given the fact that O'Brien's probably got 75% of the field or something daft in here. But interesting to see Ross Orion's already dropped up for the Alan King horse, Spice as well. But yeah, no concrete opinion. Certainly nothing nothing with as much conviction as I do have around the likes of Amora Queen and the others that we'll no doubt get onto.
No, this is to me the best race of the whole weekend, bar the Cesarevich. And here is the 3 o'clock. The Group 1 over 7 furlongs is at Dewhurst, with big repercussions for next year's classics.
And does he wear green and does he wear white, Jamie?
Yeah, there's only one winner of this. But I really like all of them. They're really good horses. And the favourite at 5 to 2 is Godolphin, who won the last day over course and distance, is Distant Storm. 130 apiece in Gestad and Zavateri. Obviously, first and second at the Curra on Champions Day. Oxagon, who was 8 to 1, who finished second behind Puerto Rico, who won the Prix-Jean Lagardère at Longchamp the weekend. Italy is 11th. Alparslan is 14 to 1, who won the big sales race at the Curra on the Sunday of Champions weekend. Hawk Mountain won't run here. Jawan might run here. Saba Desert is 33 to 1. Would you ever see that after he went in the superlative during the season at Newmarket? Anyway, Distant Storm, Gestad, or Zavateri. Now, have I convinced you that Zavateri is a very, very good horse?
Zavateri is special. Really happy that he's not going to be sold, that Eve Johnson Houghton's going to keep hold of him. Even looking at this field, I thought that Oxagon was perhaps overpriced. Obviously, Oisin jocked up for the Gosdens. That is a potential angle in for people from an each way perspective. Could completely understand and get that. Italy needs about 4,000 miles. Couldn't have them in a million years. Brussels won't run here or run on the Friday. So yeah, if people wanted to, Zavateri's a winner for me. I think this horse is exceptional. But if you fancied an each-way tri-cast, I would be leaving out the front two, Jamie, which you may probably, well, you more than likely will disagree with, and it'd be Oxagon, Zavateri, and the third for me would. It would be Distant Storm. Sorry, Distant Storm, Zavateri, Oxagon. That would be the reverse tricast or the combination tricast if people are interested in playing that sort of bet. Might return you a few quid, but yeah, Zavateri, I think he's a proper horse, me, Jay, and yeah, I think he wins this.
Yeah, I was actually very impressed with Distant Storm the last day over horse and distance. To be honest, Jen, it was a tough results race. Settled much better than he did when he was third behind Jawan in Italy in the ACOM at York. I really did. I really liked the way I think he's a huge danger to Zavateri. I really do. Instead, I think he's been in a lot of wars this year. He's been running very early. Obviously, True Love, who he beat at Navan at the start of the season, went on to win the Chiefly Park in very impressive fashion, coming back after a slight injury. The thing I looked at the last day after the race at the Curragh, which worries with me about Salvatore, is that he was a bit far back from my liking at the Curragh and got there, where if Gestad and Distant Storm got a bit of a kick on down the dip, it'd be very hard to catch the two of them. And I hope, is it Charlie Bishop is on it, I hope he's cute enough to see that's what's going to happen. That's my only worry about Salvatore, which I think if it ran in a straight line over 7 furlongs and it was a flat track round a straight road, he'd win by half the track. It's track biased.
If you owned him, Jay, given the fact obviously of connections and without being disparaging to them, would you not be putting him away? I know that's that. Yeah, we don't want to say that because we want to see him race, but I think I would.
Yeah. Oh, but it's going to be a cracker. It's going to be a cracker, and I hope they all turn up. Whatever.
Yeah,
I think they will. And look, it's the small trainer taking on the big powerhouses, really, isn't it? She had a go at the Curragh. She got rewarded, and hopefully she'll get rewarded again. And hopefully. Am I nailing my colours to the mast? No, because I think they're 3 really good horses, and they're standout 2-year-olds, to be honest with you. And I hope, for the sake of the podcast, that Salvatore does win. Yeah. Right, we move on to the final race that we preview. One of my favourite races of the whole season. I love this race. Is the Cesarovich. A lot of people might not like it. A lot of people might like it because it's flat horses taking on national hunt horses, really. But the favourite here is last year's winner, controversially, in Alphonse Legrand at 7-1. Who's the second favourite, Liam? Look at that second favourite. Who's that trainer? That's 7-1 joint favourite in Reverend Hubert Sylvester de Souza, jocked up 8 stone 3. Won the trial by half the track. Here we go, 7-1. He won't be 7-1 anyway before he go there. East India Dock is 8. Hip Hop de Loire, who's cost me a lot of money in the E-board, 9-1. Bunting is 10s. Baylor Boy is 10s. Belgravian, who won in that trial last day, is 10-1. Divine Comedy's 14s. Manxman, who was second last year. Winterfall, Dawn Rising, and Dowie, Mordor. They're all in here. Anyone stand out, Liam?
I want to see jockey bookings, but therefore the jockey bookings would then collapse the price. But Dawn Rising, who's obviously got the form in Group Company, still at 20-1, is the turnaround. I suppose obviously the longer the distance, the more it's going to be taken out of these horses. And given the fact that ultimately he's a stayer, coming back now to go again over the 2 mile 2, whether Dawn Rising can do that is yet to be seen. But yeah, he'd be of interest at 20s. And Darby's another one for Gordon Elliott, who would definitely be on my radar.
I think he was one of the favourites last year, Liam, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he may well have been, yeah. But he's evidently had a nice little prep into this, finishing 4th the last day.
Chester.
Yeah, and if if the German internet Wi-Fi worked, then I'll be able to tell you where it was, but it doesn't.
Chester.
Chester, thanks, Jake. Yeah, so I think the Derby here would be interesting. Just be interesting to see who Gordon gets on board for that day. I don't. And
Dawn Rising was 3.5 lengths behind last year. Yeah. Tom McCon Road, yeah, he was, yeah, and
a good few pounds lower, I imagine, the handicap. Yeah. Obviously now an 8-year-old. Dawn Rising has been on my radar for a while, but I think it is a relatively quick turnaround. He ran the last day, Jay, was it about a week ago? Was it the Irish Sarowich?
Who?
Last week, Dawn Rising.
He did, yeah. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So whether he can back that run up after finishing 5th in obviously that big field handicap and then come here this weekend and reproduce, it might be asking a little bit too much. However, I'm perhaps not seen since Ascot the last day when, again, he was put up by myself and finished 4th. But so yeah, Dawn Rising and Derby definitely on my radar, 100%. I couldn't have the as mental as it may sound, the Mullins pair. Obviously, I know that you've been burnt, as you just mentioned, Jay, with Hip Hop Delore, but also Bunting, just the drift that he's taken. I know that Tony Bloom is the shrewdest man on the planet when it comes to punting, but yeah. He's just a little bit too good to be true. He's never delivered. And yeah, I couldn't be backing him. So Dawn Rising for me, or it would be Nadawi for Gordon.
Yeah, I think the only one I'd like out of the Mullen jokes, really, to be honest, Liam, is Winter Fog. I think he won the last day on the flat, and the prep. Look, he's an 11-year-old winning the Cesarovich, and Sean D. Bowen is jocked, and blah blah blah. In Dowie, it was definitely a huge eye catcher the last day at Chester. I didn't think he was in love with the track, and he was one of the favourites last year in the race. The top two are going to be hard to beat here. They really are. I'm like, Reverend Hubert, I know it's up last year. It's off a mark of 83. It was off 84 last year, saying here. It's the same mark. And look, no offence to Sean Davis, he's got Sylvester D'Souza now. I thought he went a bit too far for my liking the last day in the trial beating Schutzpel, but he's been around the track. He's getting weight now. He's getting £10 now from Alphonse Legrand. I know Alphonse Legrand won that last year off 87. Now he's 93. He's been around the big handicaps. You could say he's been pulled for the race last year and this year and whatever. The top two are going to be hard to beat. You want to be massive improver to beat the top two. But you know me, I'm going to side with
Do you think their streets ahead of the rest, Jay? Would you advise the reverse forecast?
They've been handicapped. No, I wouldn't do that. You'd
No.
always get one. You'd always get one. The very eye-catching horse the last day was Ian Williams' horse, and he likes targeting these. Is Baylor Boy, who I tipped on Emmett's show, and Liber Power won the race. Spencer was on that day, and he was at pains to get him out. I think the further he goes, the better. I presume Spencer's going to be on Alphonse Legrand anyway, because he ran at York on him. He's run on the right after got on him. They've been targeting this day. Obviously, repeating myself all this year, but 7-1 to find out both of them is definitely bets. But I think it's between the top two. Boring as it seems, they know what it is. They've run in the race. Look, you'll always get improvers in these races, but they're back here for a reason. And yeah,
but also, Jay, you wouldn't turn your nose up at a 7-1 winner in a 5-runner field. So why would you in a 20-runner field? That's more than fair.
And look, you know, I'd be biased. I'd go with Reverend Hubert because he's Charles Burns.
There we are. We got to the crux of it.
There we go. There we go. But that's it. Any best bet for Newmarket for the whole weekend?
Yeah, mate, it would definitely be Amora Queen at 50-1. And when people say best bet, yeah, even if you're picking up place money, it will return more than potentially what others may tip as a win. Amora Queen, I think, and especially if Canada Girl goes in earlier in the week because the secondary form line, 50 is the wrong price. So yeah, Amora Queen, the Fillies Mile.
And I'll take you on with Dance to the Music. That is my best bet at Newmarket. Right, lads, that's it. Thank you for tuning in for Chepstow / Newmarket. Thanks to Liam all the way over in Germany. Thanks to Liam.
You're welcome, mate. Enjoyed it.
No bother, and we will see you soon.